Hey everybody, did you know you can go to colinmullen.com in order to get art and art prints? In fact, it's where I put pretty much everything I've ever done on this channel, so if you want to get a print of any of this work, you can. colinmullen.com. So, hey everybody, I want to talk about this painting real quick and then I'll get into today's subject matter. I started doing a painting of my summer car and then I just hated it and did the painting from the last week. And I was just going to use a different canvas, but I'm like, nah, let's not be wasteful right now. So I figured I'd just reuse it, and I still had the footage saved, so I was like, okay, well, I'll go ahead and show you this process. Normally I would just, I don't know, paint over it white or something and show it to you, but I don't know. To some degree, I feel like it's a little bit of the process, and it's interesting, I think. So this is what I think a bad painting looks like. Anyway, and then the final painting is just sort of like, I don't know, this year. Anyway, let's get into today's subject matter. It was sent to me on Tumblr in a anon ask, so thank you to whoever sent this to me. You gave me something to talk about this week. And they ask, do you have any experience with frustration from having too many ideas? I often find myself overwhelmed instead collecting piles of unfinished projects that keep getting bigger and bigger, which deters me even more. I guess this is an arcade suggestion, but it doesn't have to be. I'm going to make it an arcade suggestion. If you guys ever have a thing you want to ask me, you can always ask me on Tumblr or on the comments of any of these YouTube videos, or if you're a patron, just send me a message via the Patreon messaging thing, or post it on the board thing, whatever it's called. I don't know how websites work. Anyway, send it to me. I'll answer it. And that's what we're going to do here. So sometimes this is an issue for me. I try and act on things as soon as I have the ideas to do them, but, motivation sometimes isn't there. And so I think my suggestion as far as this goes is, if you can, write down ideas, sketch ideas. If it's a song or whatever, just like hum the melodies. That way you can, record it and then come back to it later. Because you will have a moment at some point in time where you can't think of anything. If you're anything like me, you can't think of what you're going to do, and you're just like, man, I have no idea what I'm going to draw or paint or sing or write. And, have it there for yourself. And it's okay if you don't get to do all the things that you think up. I think you need to be nice to yourself on that level, because, you only have so much time in a day to do art, You got to go to work, you got to go to school, you got to do other art projects. And so there's just going to be some stuff that if you are thinking up a whole bunch of ideas that you're going to not be able to get to. Keeping a log of ideas, just enough that you can come back to it. Sometimes, that's how I come up with the names for a lot of these paintings, is I'll think up of an idea of a name for a piece, and then I'll write down the name, and then I'll work out the piece later. Or I'll need a name for a piece, and I'll look up my list that I've got. Keeping good notes for yourself is just gonna make your life a lot easier. And there's no reason to ditch those ideas, but I do recommend sticking with one to completion. I feel like this is kind of a mix of two different videos that I've made in the past, but it is a different problem than art block that I've talked about in the past, or so on and so forth. Anyway, just take notes. Keep track of the stuff that you're thinking, and try and finish things to completion when you can. But hopefully this helped. Let me know. Now I need to go ahead and thank the people on Patreon at the $5 or more tier. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, either through watching these videos or donating, like Wapfu. Thank you, Wapfu. Thank you, Top Houndor. Thank you, Tino Kill. Thank you, Targo. Thank you, Spiral. Thank you, Spencer Kane. Thank you, Ryu. Thank you, Punkster. Thank you, Phoenixia Theoran. Thank you, Orthogonal Caster. Thank you, Mortibus. Thank you, Micah. Thank you, Maliciousness. Thank you, Lost Nevada. Thank you, Kayla Hollinger. Thank you, Katana Squirrel. Thank you, Holgen. Thank you, Geizazan. Thank you, Duxu. Thank you, Dragon. Thank you, Chiptune Glitch. Thank you, Cappy Rose. Thank you, Bubba Fair. Thank you, Bep. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Amber. And thank you, Ants! So fun. If you enjoyed this video, sub, comment, all that crap that I'm supposed to say. Join people on Patreon if you're so inclined. The world is in a rough spot right now, so take care of yourself. First and foremost, that would do me a huge solid if you could just, I don't know, take care of yourself. Anyway, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.